The first warning arrived as a ripple through the outer relay stations orbiting the silent edge of the solar system. A technician on the night shift watched a screen flash with the silhouette of a formation, so large that it appeared as a single moving wall. The technician, a young man named Leo, stared as the relay fed more detail. The shapes were armored warships from a distant empire, known across the scattered sectors as the Vorm Dominion. They were a coalition of warlords forged into a single ruthless power. Their fleets conquered with calculated precision. Their admirals considered fear a tool. They boasted that no frontier planet had ever resisted them. Leo sent the alert to command and stood frozen for a moment after pressing the key. He had imagined that if such a day came, he would feel terror. Instead, he felt a slow rising steadiness. Humans had changed since contact. They had survived threats before. They would survive again. The message raced to Earth's Defense Council. In a sunlit tower overlooking the steady rise of city towers, Counselor Myra received the relay data. She read the numbers twice. 200 ships, none smaller than a dreadnought, each carrying fighters, storm units, and weapons engineered from conquest after conquest. It was the largest coordinated assault ever aimed at a single world. She gathered the council within minutes. She spoke with calm conviction. She said Earth had been challenged and Earth would answer. Her words held no dramatic flourish. She spoke as if discussing weather patterns. The council understood. Earth had spent decades preparing not to rule the galaxy, but to ensure no one ruled it through fear. Across the globe, defense stations activated dormant protocols. Pilots ran to hangars. Engineers awakened systems kept in reserve for only the most critical threats. Families watched broadcasts as leaders explained the incoming danger. Yet the planet did not panic. Humanity had survived disasters and wars before it ever reached the stars. In resilience, they trusted. Far from the warm glow of Earth, the Vorn fleet approached in a spearhead formation. At its center stood the flagship, a towering vessel of black alloy commanded by Admiral Coron. He believed Earth would shatter under his strike. Reports from spies had depicted humans as inventive but undisciplined. He saw Earth as rich in resources and too bold for its place. He planned to make an example of them. He had no doubt of victory. The Dominion had conquered worlds with stronger militaries. His ships crossed the orbit of Neptune when the first unexpected sign appeared. A small drone emerged from Neptune's shadows. It projected a simple message. The drone used a calm human voice, requesting that the Dominion halt its advance. The message stated Earth was protected. It advised reconsideration. The heart of the message was polite, but unwavering. Coron laughed when the message replayed on the bridge. He ordered the drone to be vaporized. One of his captains asked if caution might be wise. Coron dismissed him. He believed humanity held no secret that could threaten 200 warships. Yet when they moved deeper into the system, sensors reported something strange. Space rippled with faint distortions. It was not a natural phenomenon. It was not a weapon the Dominion recognized. Each distortion lingered as if holding a presence. Engineers aboard the fleet sent scans and received nothing concrete. Only patterns of compressed space and gravity fluctuations. Coron guessed Earth was deploying psychological tactics. He ordered engines to full thrust. On Mars, Earth's forward defense grid began to transform. Structures that once served as logistical hubs retracted into armored bunkers. A shield network flickered on. Pilots launched in formations from underground hangars prepared for decades. The Martian sky filled with sleek human craft known as Arclight fighters. They were smaller than Dominion fighters, but could maneuver at angles impossible for typical propulsion systems. Leo watched from the control room as the first Earth squadrons left orbit. He admired their courage. He had never been a soldier. He believed his role still mattered. Every calculation he transmitted shaped plays on a strategic board larger than any conflict humanity had seen. The fleet passed Mars with no resistance. Coron intended to strike Earth directly. He believed that crushing the heart would end all will to resist. But as the ships neared Earth's orbit, the distortion fields intensified. The Vorn fleet slowed. Gravity readings spiked. Signals warped as if passing through invisible weaving currents. Sensors aboard the Dominion ships failed one by one. Coron demanded explanations. No engineer could provide one. They detected no explosive threat, no energy discharge. Yet their instruments malfunctioned. Communication between ships flickered. The fleet lost its tight formation dot, and Earth's message returned. This time it played across every Vorn monitor. The voice remained calm. It said Earth had learned long ago that brute force was a brutal teacher. It said Earth would not start conflict, yet would finish it if forced. It warned one last time to leave. Coron snarled and commanded his fleet to fire at Earth the moment weapons locked. But the locks never came online. The distortions intensified until the hulls of the Dominion ships groaned under pressure. Power flows flickered. Engines surged and then flattened. It felt to the crews as though something was pushing back against them. Something vast and old and silent. On Earth, Mira received confirmation. The system was working. Decades earlier, Earth had discovered strange anomalies buried within lunar soil. They were remnants of an ancient civilization that had vanished ages before humanity's first spark of civilization. The artifacts were not weapons in the traditional sense. They manipulated gravity and space in ways humanity still did not fully grasp. Scientists had spent years reverse engineering fragments of the technology. They built a defensive network around the system, using principles derived from those relics. Humans had decided those tools would never be used to invade others. They would be used only to shield life. Admiral Coron finally ordered a retreat. But the fleet could not turn. The distortions pinned the ships in place. Engines strained. Space bent like a tide, locking them in a silent storm. Then the Arclight fighters arrived. They darted through the weakened Dominion formation. They disabled engines with precision shots. They severed communication pylons. They swarmed like starlings, chasing away predators. None attacked with lethal force. The goal was not destruction. It was disarming. Yet the fleet had no ability to fight back. One cruiser attempted to open fire. Its weapon system malfunctioned and discharged into its own hull. The blast forced it into a spiral that ended among drifting debris. Vorn crews panicked. They had conquered dozens of worlds but never faced resistance that felt like the universe itself turning against them. Dominion soldiers rushed through corridors, searching for answers. Officers shouted orders that disappeared under alarms. The fear that Coron used to command his men now choked them. Earth's largest defense platforms emerged from behind the moon. They were cylindrical towers armed with non-lethal beams, capable of freezing electronics without harming crews. These beams pulsed across the disabled Dominion ships. Lights flickered. Engines died. The entire formation became silent silhouettes drifting in forced helplessness. Coron tried to send a message to Earth demanding honorable combat. His message never reached its target. His ship's systems collapsed under the gravity distortions. Mira contacted the fleet through a quantum channel. Her message was simple. She told the Dominion that their attempt to invade had failed. She explained that Earth would not destroy them. Instead, Earth would take every ship into custody and transport every crew safely to neutral territory. She offered medical treatment. She offered legal mediation. She made clear Earth sought peace through strength used responsibly. Some Vorn officers shouted that it was a trick. Others wept in disbelief. Many had expected execution. None understood mercy. Tug vessels departed Earth to retrieve the immobilized ships. It took hours to stabilize the distortions so that physical towing could begin. Engineers guided vessels with delicate precision. Arclight squadrons escorted transport routes. Leo observed the process with awe. He never imagined witnessing such a moment in history. He realized humanity had become more than a species struggling for survival. It had become a guardian of balance. The Vorm crews were escorted to secure stations around the moon. They were treated with fairness. They were given rest and food. The medical teams worked without resentment. The prisoners did not know how to respond. Their culture praised strength, but knew only domination. Compassion felt like a force they could not categorize. Koron was held in a reinforced chamber. Myra visited him. She told him Earth bore no hatred for his people. She said what humanity demanded was respect for sovereignty and peace among civilizations. She explained that Earth would not be silent in the face of threats, but would always offer a chance for peace. Before conflict, Koron listened with clenched fists. He finally asked why Earth had not used their strange power to conquer in return. Mira answered that humans once knew the cost of empires. They learned that strength without restraint shaped horrors. They chose a different path grounded in dignity. Weeks later, Earth released the Vorn crews to an interstellar council. Mira sent a message to the Dominion Senate. Her message detailed the failed invasion. She clarified that Earth did not seek retribution. She asked only for recognition of boundaries and an agreement to end hostilities. The Senate convened. New Zo,